Friggin' what up, dude? Strider Wilson, and I'm the host of this podcast that's mine, going to be called History is Dank. History is Dank with Strider Wilson. Friggin' what up, dude? Fired up for another ep of History's friggin' Dank, dude. I'm your host, Strider Wilson. What up, dude? We got Aaron on the sticks, dude. What up, Aaron?
What up?
Chilling, dude. Just loved hearing about your softball dub, dude. Congrats, bro.
I am a champion, but I come to you as a humble father. I just came from my gym.
What is that?
Oh, it's a gym for babies.
That's fucking cute, dude.
Yeah.
That's so cute. Jacked babies in there. Can you tell
it's not that kind of
if there's babies who are gonna get jacked?
There was one who was like, oh shit, this guy's legit. He's got legit grip.
Yeah,
Grip
dude.
strength.
My buddy Brooks, his kid, I can already tell is gonna be jacked, dude. He's got broad shoulder, like a puppy. Like when you look at a puppy and it's got big old paws.
Mm-hmm, yeah.
You just know. You're like, all right, that thing's gonna be jacked.
Yeah.
Dude. And you look at this kid, you're like, dude, he's got broad shoulders. He's going to be jacked. Dude, he's lifting up a friggin', I don't know, a pacifier, dude, and hucking it super far or something. That's dope as hell, dude. What is that, like a place called, wasn't there a place called like Jamboree?
Gymboree.
Gymboree. Is it like that? Is that what you're at?
Yeah.
What is that, dude? What happens there, dude?
They just have little classes for babies. Like, they just sing songs and have them like go up these soft stairs and balance stuff.
That's tight.
Play with stuff they bring out, tambourines and shit.
Like a next level, like a Spartan style level where they have to face down, a kitten or something like that.
They do have a zip line, which makes me excited.
Dude, that's badass.
Yeah.
Ziplining is sick. Ziplining is a vacation activity that you're very stoked to do. Then when you get in the harness and it absolutely smashes your dong in your freaking nugs, dude, then you go, I regret this. But then you start zipping and you go, this is tight. I feel like a bird.
The initial climbing sucks too, but yeah, after that, it's pretty cool. I want to do it again.
Ziplining, the best ziplining is something that where you risk death, you could be killed, you're in your friend's backyard, they kind of set it up themselves, it's pretty rusty, and then you hold on to it, no safety net at all, and then you go into a body of water. That's the best ziplining you can do. I
did it in Thailand, and I was like, what's weight limit on these, just out of curiosity? Because I'm a big boy.
Yeah.
They're like, don't worry about it.
Yeah, they're like, that's what you got to love, too, dude.
I'm like, all right. Well,
dude, yes.
You all are 5'4" and 130 pounds, but all right. As long as it fits, I guess.
Yeah, it fits on there. The guy's like, all right, fits. All right, you're good to go.
Yeah,
dude,
it was fine. That's
always sketchy, too, like in a foreign country, like river rafting or like doing some sort of activity where you're like, I don't know the safety protocol. And I feel like there's something, like when you're asking the guy questions like, hey, is it like weight limit or like, what's the, like, where do I hold? And they're always just like, have fun. You're good. Don't worry. I always get tripped out, dude, because I'm a bitch, dude. Aaron, you are not. You have a family to look after.
Yeah.
Me, it's purely just my own safety. If I go down, world keeps spinning around. It's all good. But this actually kind of leads me to what I wanted to talk about today a little bit with my personal history. I got a lot of bros that are looking for love, and I don't know if they're looking in all the wrong places. I found love in a, what is it? Hopeless place.
Yep.
Freaking love Rihanna, dude. But then they're asking, and we've heard this, if they say, Aaron, do you believe that love is real? I believe love is definitely real. Do you believe that love is real?
Of course.
I think it has to be, right?
So it's also a battlefield.
Love is 100% a battlefield. And it takes no prisoners. And all is fair in love and war. And fantasy football. But I'm like, dude, I think love, and I was trying to get philosophical about this. I've been, getting philosophical at nighttime out on my balcony looking up at the harvest moon that we're having here. And I say to myself, where does love start, dude? Does it start, okay, my bros that are looking for love tell me, okay, they're feeling alone. They want someone to fill something or a part of themselves. So I'm like, oh, are they not stoked to be hanging out with themselves? I get pretty stoked to be hang out with myself, but we're both in relationships, so it's nice when we have our alone time. Too much alone time, though. You got to have that balance,
I'm starting a week of alone time. My wife is leaving town for a week.
I love that. And you're probably kind of stoked, right? Is it just you and the baby?
Me and the dog.
Oh, let's go, dude. Man and his best friend posting up. Let's go. I mean, that's great. Dude, maybe a companion feels that, but that's the other thing. You get a dog, and you're still not alone, so then it's horniness.
Yeah.
And I think what love is, and it's real, and some people are mathematical, I think love is loneliness plus horniness. Maybe it's maybe it's horniness minus loneliness equals love, dude.
Sure.
I think that's the equation, and it fuels it. And I mean, really what it comes down to is, and the horniness comes in there because, you know, you're not going to bone your dog, you know.
Watch out, Hudson.
Yeah, exactly. Hudson, look out. Hey, Hudson, sit. What? Huh? On what? No, get out of here.
Oh my God.
But it's like...
there's always a story about a kid who did that, right? Like in every high school? See that kid over there, he fucked his dog. Like
totally. Have I told you my street joke about the dog? Have you told you this one? It's good. So there's a grandpa, and he's walking with his grandson, and they're walking by, and they see a dog licking himself down there, you know? And his grandson looks up at his grandpa and goes, "Grandpa, that's amazing. I mean, do you think I can go do that?" You know, kind of trying to learn about exploring, you know. "Grandpa, do you think I can go do that?" And then the grandpa tells his grandson, "Sure, but he might bite you." That's one of my faves.
That's a great one.
That's one of my faves. But anyway, dude, just waxing poetic about love. And really what I think it comes down to is we'd all maybe be alone. And anybody who is happy alone, I think is just really good at jacking off, dude. Because it's inarguable that when you're in love and with somebody, the orgasms are better.
100%.
You know what I mean? Yeah. But if someone's happy alone, then maybe they're just really good at orgasming with themselves. And so, I don't know, dude. This is just something I've been trying to think about. And just trying to tell my bros that love is real. Guys, just believe in it. You know what I mean? Just balance that equation, you know? I don't know if it's a plus or a minus. Maybe it's a multiplication. Maybe I got to foil method this a little bit more to really figure it out. But I think it's horniness, loneliness are the two main factors. And what makes up loneliness? I mean, what negates loneliness would be activities, you know, paintballing, dog owning, right? Mm-hmm. What negates horniness, you know? Also paintballing is a good displacement. Oh, but also rises horniness for when I play really well.
Yeah.
Go home and give myself an orgasm, really treat myself after doing well on the speedball course. All right, dude. Fired up. What's up?
Speaking of which, after we won the championship, I said to my wife, I was like, "I'd like to make love to a champion." She's like, "You've won before."
Dude.
God damn it.
So she already knows what it's like. She's like, "Look, I've been there." Dude, that's hilarious. Yeah, but a two-time champion? Is it two, right?
Yeah.
Come on. Two-time champ. Let's go.
Seriously.
That's what I'm talking about, dude. That's a great line by your wife, though. I like that, dude.
Yeah.
But, dude, today, before we get into today's historical topic, I want to just let you know that today's episode is brought to you by Green Chef, dude. What is Green Chef? Well, from our friends at HelloFresh comes Green Chef, the most sustainable meal kit, dude. Look, it's fun and easy to try healthy new recipes with Green Chef, bro. Right at home, dude. Delivered to your door, dude. And it's sustainable, dude. Green Chef. Love that. Good for the environment, dude. These boxes, you can recycle them, dude. It fires up my fiance. It fires me up, dude. And the meals are dank, dude. So try Green Chef today, dude. It's the #1 meal kit for eating well, bro. Go to greenchef.com/dank100 and use code dank100 to get $100 off, including free shipping. Legit, dude. And this episode is also brought to you by Dadgrass. Dadgrass is legal, organic, smokable hemp that relaxes your body and mellows your mind, dude. I'm telling you right now, Dadgrass was built for me, dude. And this is a history podcast, dude. Dadgrass takes you back to that time, bro, when those joints, dude, and I'm loving these joints, dude. I trust them. I look at it, I go, I know what I'm getting myself into, and I'm getting myself into 100% organic pre-rolled joints, dude. Very low in THC and high in CBD, so you can enjoy the effects of CBD while keeping a clear dome, dude. Fires me up, dude. It's not going to get you too high. It's going to be just nice, like, you know, like your dad was smoking back in the day at Woodstock or some, you know, dank festival on the, you know, just chilling out, dude, fixing up an old car or something right now. So I'm fired up, dude. I tried it. I smoked it on my balcony and I absolutely loved it, dude. So you got to treat yourself right now, dude. Dadgrass is offering our listeners 20% off your first order when you go to dadgrass.com/dank. That's dadgrass.com/dank for 20% off your first order. Treat yourself, dude. All right, dude. Today's topic, Aaron, have you ever heard of the Tong Wars? Tong Wars?
No.
Sounds somewhat like the Thong Wars, which is like something I did on my brother's batch party in Cabo, where I put a thong on and competed in a push-up contest on the mango deck. Got annihilated by the sun. Just completely got annihilated by the sun. Was burnt on my, and excuse me for this word, gooch.
Yeah.
Also my grundle.
Gooch and grundle.
Yeah. Which term do you prefer? I said gooch, but I might prefer grundle.
I like gooch.
I like gooch. I feel like gooch is a little more acceptable.
Yeah.
Like if I was at Thanksgiving dinner, I'd be like, hey, Mom, can I be excused early? My gooch hurts. I would say that at the table rather than like, hey, Mom, my grundle's really bothering me. Can I bail? I feel like my mom would get me saying gooch.
It just sounds cutesy. Yeah.
Yeah. My Gucci. You could even call it your Gucci, dude. You know? I mean, that's a brand, I guess. I don't know. So, dude, these Tong Wars, you said you hadn't heard of them, right? Sorry, I was just really involved in my grundle. These took place primarily in San Francisco, and they were as wars between basically different gangs, primarily made up of Chinese immigrants, typically in Chinatown in San Francisco at the turn of the century, late 1800s through the early 20th century. Ongoing, basically, gang battles. But what is a tong, you're asking yourself, is a term meaning a hall or meeting place. And it came to be used typically by white population in San Francisco in the 1880s to refer to the secret societies or fraternal organizations that were involved in illegal activities such as opium trade, gambling, you know, prostitution, sort of these nefarious activities. But really, tongs were actually developed primarily for benevolent purposes, for the protective associations for Chinese immigrants who were typically subject to racism and attacks, like not just by, you know, we're talking 1880s here. There's still people mining for gold. San Francisco was like the New York back then, dude. Like it was a booming, it was fucking legit of a, you know, city back then, dude. Like now California's all about LA, but Sacramento was the capital. That's where gold was founded, you know, but San Francisco was the huge harbor. It was where everything came in. Ships sailed around the Cape before the Panama Canal. All parts of the world. If you were going to California, odds are you landed right in San Francisco. It had a huge opera scene, dude. It was like a proper city, dude. A lot of history, which fires me up. But not all of it is a benevolent history. And these tongs were created to protect people from anti-Asian crimes and, quite honestly, laws, dude. Dude, there was a political party in the United States literally called the Anti-Asian Party.
Jeez.
Isn't that insane? So it's like the community needed to protect itself. And it just happens to go with, you know, economics and mainly you had a lot of Chinese immigrants, mainly men. I think it was like 8 to 2 women, 9 to 1 men. So, you know, if you were a woman and living in a Chinese woman, especially in San Francisco, it was tough times. You know, you a lot of times found yourself in a life of servitude, and it was really, really harrowing existence a lot of times, especially if you were involved in a tong and, you know, in prostitution and stuff. Because it wasn't, you know, how it is now with fans only. It wasn't like taking it back and controlling the on and off button from your screen. It was like, you know, you had a tong, which ended up having to get into, like I just said, nefarious activities, gambling, you know, human trafficking, basically, and what else did I say?
Opiates.
So yeah, drug trades. So anyway, what I'm saying is these tongs started out with the purpose of doing good for the community, and then sort of with economics and inherent racism that happening were led to activities and like, oh, that's what I wanted to make a point of with the men and women. It's like men don't really have families, you know, and like there's something called like 6 companies set up by 6 local businesses in San Francisco to legitimately deal with the U.S. government. You know, be like, hey, can we do something about the anti-Asian party? Like, it seems kind of weird. Also, like other crimes and just curbing crime in the community, getting more funding for because there were people with legitimate businesses that wanted protection, because if you have gambling and opioids and prostitution going on, people aren't going to come to your district and eat at your restaurant or go to your, you know, what tax services or whatever it is that you're doing, right? So 6 companies was legit. It was like not a Tong because it wasn't like sort of informal, because it, you know, it was like they did deal directly with the government. Tongs didn't, although I will get into a little bit. They did sort of mafia style get involved with governments, but in China. So that's to come. But all my point is about the men being like, look, you don't have families, and a man without a family becomes dangerous after some time. Aaron, you need something all of us are wrestling the bull inside of us, and we got to tame the bull. And you know what helps us tame the bull is loving another person, loving a dog, loving a little child, the love of a good woman, you know, having a business and something you're passionate about, you can dedicate your life to. If you're just, you know, and it's tough because maybe they get fired from a mining job or they came out to do good, but then they're not getting hired due to racism, and so then you turn to a Tong and you become part of it. So that's how maybe you get involved. That's one way. Another way would be to be it was paid, and you would be called a buhaldoy. And buhaldoy. And guys, I will tell you right now, there's obviously Mandarin and Cantonese, and a lot of Tongs were set up by that. Maybe what region you came from in China and back home, and where you would send money to and stuff, and your relationships, and obviously like it's like any club or anything, you know, who you know is how you get in. But also you could get in on talent, and if you were a buhaldoy, you would translate it to hatchet man. You were paid on a salary, like, you know, $500, which is really good, and I think that was like per month. So you're making some dough, dude.
Yeah.
But your duties are, you could get murdered in a fight. You are called a hatchet man, so you got to imagine you're using a weapon. You've got to go and be an enforcer and a fighter, and you're basically a soldier for the Tong. So not everyone's a fighter. You have like older dudes who are wanting to look out for businesses that they're involved with. And what you would have, because these hired guns, you would actually have these hatchet men. They could be involved in multiple Tongs. And that's where the wars got really complicated, because if someone has beef, say someone like, you know, doesn't pay someone like or taking a cut off of an opium deal, right, from one Tong and then giving it to another because they have loyalty there secretly. Who's going to have who's back in that scenario? The guy's going to go to his Tong that he's probably given the money to and say, come have my back. And they're like, okay, we'll have your back. But then the other guy who he's got ties with is like, well, now I'm being fought here, so they're all going to go to war again. Nothing really makes sense. So it ended up devolving when you got too much crossover, you know, when the ties weren't as strong due to commerce and salaries, and you know, people kind of capitalized as well as they could, but they could do it because it was like sort of a skill-based market. And that goes to even the next thing, which is kind of the gross glorification of Tongs that would happen in San Francisco, where like they would even print it up in newspapers, and like white patrons, and most likely racially fueled, would like, they would look up the Tong, like Kung Tang, like Gi Kung Tang, for example, or Gi Kung. Sorry, the Gi Kung was like the mother of all Tongs, is like one of the examples. Maybe another one's called like Sun Yat or something like that. Just based on my research, I'm just pulling 2 different names. They'd be like, oh, who's good at fighting from there? People would watch from their balconies. And the beauty of it, and I don't want to dive into this glorification too much, but I do love, and this is kind of what we love, I think, about The Sopranos, is like the code of ethics that's involved. It's not like from the outsider's view and the government's view and the police, it's like, there's crime going on. People are hitting each other in the streets with clubs, sometimes using guns, but mostly it's like Gangs of New York style. That's like what I would say to have a good understanding of this. Like, imagine 5 Points Gangs of New York style, but in Chinatown and San Francisco is kind of what we're looking at here. And you would have, so there is the glorification of this crime, and partially racially fueled in San Francisco. And you would have dudes that would like train and fight and get paid, and that's how they would send money back to their families in China, or just collect it and try to stay in a Tong as long as they can or get out. If you did die, your Tong, you were supposed to have loyalty where they would pay money to your friends or family. Like if you were killed or like too seriously maimed in a fight and couldn't continue, they would pay. In fact, I think the 500 I mentioned was too steep earlier, Aaron. I need to correct myself. 500 was the sympathy money that went to family or friends if someone was killed or slain during a fight. But how I mentioned, like at sporting event and even in the newspaper, these Tong fights would show up and people would kind of track it. It was crazy. They would, and there was like, people would look out and know when a war was going to go up. There was obviously, you could go to Chinatown, you'd see a posting and being like, you know, someone's called out for doing this transgression, didn't pay money for like, you know, took a cut off of like a prostitution area in whatever district illegally. We demand like this much money. If we're not given compensated this much money for this transgression, we will fight at this time. And like people would watch that and then go like as a sporting event and watch it go down. And people would look for the signs. You know what was a good sign that a Tong fight was about to go down, Aaron? The presence of wild cat meat in the butcher's window.
Huh.
Buhaldois believed that, some, not all, believed that by eating the felines, these wild cats, they would get their strength, agility, vision, and focus, and it would up their abilities in the upcoming fight.
It's probably just Toxoplasma.
What is Toxoplasma? I'm fired up hearing that word.
It's a parasite that's in their poop that, you know, makes you can't have it around kids because it'll fuck them up.
Oh, yes.
But it makes you reckless.
Dude, interesting, bro. So there is actual science behind that. But they're eating it.
Yeah.
It's got to be in their blood. If it's in their poop, then it's probably in the meat as well.
Probably.
Am I right?
Yeah.
So you're eating Toxoplasma, just how like tryptophan, you wouldn't want to have a turkey before a fight. You know, you'd be sleeping. You would want to have some cat meat. Interesting.
I mean,
Aaron, did we just come up with a good business idea? Dude, should we do some cocaine right now? Go hang out with one of our cousins, because that's what happens. We need to go find one of our cousins who's having a party, visit with all of their friends and ruin their time by doing all their cocaine and then pitching them business deals nonstop. That's because that's what all cousins do from out of town. They do all your cocaine and then pitch you bad business ideas. Except here's the catch. We have a good business idea. Toxoplasma, is that what you just said?
Mm-hmm.
Toxoplasma energy drinks. It's like tiger's blood.
I think it permanently alters you, though.
Yeah, to being an optimal badass. You're telling me, dude, Rogan's going to be selling this in like tomorrow, dude. We're already late, Aaron. We're already late, dude.
Rogan?
Pass that. Can you pass that tray?
Rogan probably has it already.
Yeah, I bet. Exactly.
There was a stat. I mean, he mentioned it on his show, and I've looked it up, and it was as accurate as a Google search can be. But it said 60% of Brazil has Toxoplasma.
Whoa.
Because there's so many feral cats.
And they're pooping everywhere, and then the people are just inhaling that.
Yeah.
Not knowing. Wow. And so that's why, like, when you see a cat lady, she's like out of her mind, right? People say like 50 cats or something like that.
Sure, yeah.
Dude, my brother-in-law and my sister, they bought like a part of their, on my brother-in-law's side of the family, like a farm in Nebraska. And it was like not well kept because it was just like sitting for years. It's a centennial farm. And dude, they went in there and they said there was like 80 stray cats living in this barn, and that like when you opened it, it was like, imagine like humidity, but shit-filled humidity just like invading your senses, dude.
Yeah, I would wear a mask in there.
You imagine that Toxoplasma? I think they're just going to raise that barn. They're like, we're knocking this thing down, dude.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's actually where they're going to put my niece on timeout, dude. They're really bad parents. Dude, that's amazing, bro. Dude, Toxoplasma, you learn something every day. That's a good safe word, dude. Toxoplasma.
Sure.
We're getting a little too crazy sexually here for me, Toxoplasma. You got to push the limits. You always got to be pushing the limits. You know what I mean? But you got to be able to know when to dial it back. It's our lesson for today. You know, I think a guy who's comfortable being himself and doesn't believe in love, giving himself good orgasms by jaying off is probably, you know, taking a little Toxoplasma, doing it right. Maybe that's got to be in the equation, dude. Everything divided by Toxoplasma. I don't know. I'm over here just trying to figure it out. Let's see, dude. So the Tong Wars and we are focusing on San Francisco primarily. And also, I forgot to give a shout out. This was a suggestion from Nate from Toronto, by the way, he wrote in about this. He goes, dude, I'm watching a sick ass series. You should check it out. On Tong Wars. I forget what the series is called, but
is it Warrior?
Yeah, it's Warrior. That's exactly it.
Yeah,
it's Warrior. It's kind of like you find a lot of this in cinema. Like the movie Warriors kind of has like, obviously it's not all set in Chinatown, but like you have these gangs, which kind of Tongs devolved into, even though I mentioned they were set up for, benevolent purposes and to curb racism and protect the community. It's like you have like this cool baseball team, Tom. You have like these beach crazy. What was your favorite group in the Warriors? It was got to be the dudes with the baseball bats.
The Baseball Furies?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Those guys were cool.
I don't know if they're cool.
That's true.
But they're smart to carry bats.
That is very true. Yeah, their aesthetic was hanging out in a baseball uniform, not a cool look, dude. Just tucking in a hole. I don't know, man. Like, do you think if you go to a bar in like a Yankees pinstripe uniform, like you could say that you were a backup pitcher or something like that, get away with it? You'd be like, oh yeah, I just wear my uniform out.
No, I don't think so.
What about a cool suit? Slick your hair back. You could be anyone could probably get away with being like a hockey player.
Yeah.
Or like a pro, I don't know. Like you could lie and maybe say if you're jacked, you should just get yourself a gold medal off of Amazon and wear it out. And like hang out with your boys. That's a good plan. That's a good bachelor party plan. One of the best nights out we ever had. This is good advice. You want to party? You want to rip it up, dude? Get some icebreakers. Have one of your boys pose as an Olympian. Pick an obscure sport. Or be a team. Say we're a curling team or something, and we won a while back. But then come clean. But it's just an icebreaker. Or you have to do, which I did with my boy Brian D. got fired. We went out drinking, and we're like, yeah, my boy got fired. We're just kind of like gonna miss him, but we're just celebrating. We said F you, dude. Basically, he quit, but they did actually fire him. And people loved it. They're like, hell yeah, good for you. What's next? And it was just a nice, good conversation, talking about the future, hanging out. So get fired and then go out. Good call. It's a freaking good ass call, dude. So like I mentioned, we're talking about San Francisco, and what I'm going to give you now in this next segment, I gave you a basic breakdown. Oh, first, before I get into this, actually, I do want to share about how, and I said this teaser about Tongs. We talked about the 6 companies, which was legitimately set up, not a Tong, but was a body set up by, 6 businesses in Chinatown, San Francisco to, talk with the government, make deals, and look out for the, benefit of the people in that community. But then you have freaking Tongs playing a role in the establishment of a Chinese government, dude. So Tongs began in 1852, like I mentioned. 1880s was their peak. 1920s, or maybe even a little bit before that, there is a big decline. So in San Francisco is the Gi Kung Tang, I'm probably saying that wrong, and I apologize, the mother of all Tongs, dude. And it was inspired by the triads. We've heard of them. You've heard of like the Yakuza in Japan, the triads of China. It's like an international, basically, gang. I mean, they're still in existence today, the triads. They were involved in governments like basically big-time international mafia. The Kung Tang began as a protective organization, but soon developed, like I mentioned, strong criminal component. The Tang played a small but significant role in the establishment of modern China, dude. When this guy, Dr. Sun Yat-sen, you've heard of Sun Yat-sen, right? Attempted to overthrow the Manchu dynasty and failed. In 1895, he fled to America, pursued by agents of the Chinese gov, dude. The Gi Kung Tang protected Sun and raised money for him until he returned to China in 1912. There, Sun defeated the Manchus and helped establish the First Republic of China. So, pretty gnarly. Sun Yat-sen, dude. He's a beast. I remember studying him in college. And I didn't know that he came over here and crashed in Chinatown and posted up with Gi Kung Tang for a while, dude. So it was badass. And this was, earlier on. So before, it sounds like they were involved in some criminal activities, but, maybe not so gnarly. Pretty Machiavellian, you know what I mean, Aaron? Aaron, are you for or pro Machiavellian? Or does it matter? Is there a line? Everyone has their line and limits.
I think, yeah, you got to have your line.
Yeah. Can't just be doing anything.
No.
All right, dude. So now I'm going to get to the biggest on record and longest, I should say, Tong War in San Francisco history. What sparked the war, dude? A lady, dude. Horniness, dude. Ties into what I was talking about earlier. Horniness, bro. Greed. age-old story. I mean, this is Shakespearean stuff we're talking about here, dude. But before we do that, I want to mention one more time, dude, that this episode is brought to you by Green Chef, dude. It is now owned by HelloFresh, and with a wider array of meal plans to choose from, there's something for everyone, dude. I'm fired up. Look, my fiance is vegetarian, dude. I am fired up on the plant-powered options that they have, dude. It's fun, dude, that you get your box. I love going down to my mail area in my building, and when my neighbors see my Green Chef box and I just make prolonged eye contact with them, like, what up, dude? And they look at me and they go, what up? We know you're about to have a good night, dude. It's a fun date night in. It makes cooking fun because guess what? We're saving time by not having to go to the grocery store. It shows up, dude. I love picking new meals, dude, and of course I go with some of my old faves, dude. Anything with chickpeas, I freaking get fired up on, aka garbanzo beans, dude. And the fact that it's sustainable is absolutely huge, dude. It's pre-portioned, easy to follow recipes, dude. I'm no freaking, you know, Chef Boyard Dank, dude. Actually, I am, but honestly, dude, the fact that the recipes are easy to follow, delivered right to me, it makes eating well easy, dude. It's never been simpler. It's freaking Green Chef there's a reason it's America's #1 meal kit for eating well, dude. Meaning they're the best meal kit, whether you're keto, paleo, vegan, vegetarian, gluten-free, pescatarian, or you just want to eat more balanced meals, dude. Fueling my rig with dankness using Green Chef, dude. So I just love to go out. I think I had like a legit like pineapple flatbread, dude. And it was so bomb. Barbecue pineapple flatbread, dude. Little pineapple on there was so bomb, dude. Made that with my legit fiance, dude. It was so much fun making it and so good eating it. So you gotta go to greenchef.com/dank100 and use code dank100 to get $100 off, including free shipping. That's greenchef.com/dank100 and use code dank100 to get $100 off, including free shipping, dude. Green Chef, the #1 meal kit for eating well. And dude, this podcast is also brought to you by Dadgrass, dude. This is a match made in heaven, dude, for me. Like, Dadgrass was, I feel like, invented for me, bro. It's 100% organic, pre-rolled joints. Dude, they're very low in THC and high in CBD, so you can enjoy the effects of CBD while keeping a clear head, dude. And let me tell you what, this is my favorite analogy about this, dude. A Dadgrass joint, which I'm fired up on sparking up and smoking. I was enjoying one the other night after a comedy show with Chad and JT. We absolutely crushed. And afterwards, I was like, guys, let's just enjoy this Dadgrass. And they were like, whoa, dude, I don't know, man. I don't know. I got some stuff I want to get done tomorrow, dude. I just kind of want to take it easy. And I go, bro, you're going to be able to take it easy. You're going to be able to take a trip back in time, because this is back to when, you know, weed was legit, dude. It didn't, you know, mess with your head or get you too paranoid or anything. Dadgrass, it's just legit, dude. And the thing about it is all Dadgrass products are federally legal for ages 21 and over, and it ships right to your door anywhere in the USA. It's easy, dude. So simple. It makes me feel so good. But what I was going to say about my favorite analogy, it's like drinking a glass of wine, not having the whole bottle. It's just like, let me just enjoy this nice, cool mood boost that I'm going to get right now by sparking up this nice joint. And I'm all about the joints. It doesn't go back to the horror stories when my buddy would be like, hey dude, let me milk the bong for you, then you clear it. And it's like, no man, that's not going to put me in the right space. I'm an adult now. I don't want my mind to do extra work. I want my mind to take a break, and Dadgrass is helping me do it. So right now, Dadgrass is offering our listeners 20% off your first order when you go to dadgrass.com/dank, dude. Go to dadgrass.com/dank for 20% off your first order. That's dadgrass.com/dank. Treat yourself, dude. Quang Duc Tong member Ming Long, okay, was not fired up, dude, on April of 1875, dude, when he just learned that Kum Hao, a prostitute, also known as the Golden Peach, so you got to imagine she was pretty good.
I could eat a peach for hours.
That's right. Do I dare eat a peach? Do I dare dream? In a minute, there is time. And that's about all I'll spend with the Golden Peach. Because that's about all I could probably last. So, apparently, the Golden Peach had been passing money that Quang Duc gave her to Lo Sing of a rival Tong, Sui Sing Tong. So, this dude Ming posts up outside Kum's, so the Golden Peach, her real name is Kum Hao, and her Rose Alley is an area of San Francisco brothel, and he jumps this freaking dude, Lo Sing, gets his ass jumped, dude. All right, Lo emerges, he gets freaking jumped, bro. So then you've got the Sui Sing Tong. They gather in their response on Waverly Street headquarters. They're outraged at this attack on their member, and they post a sign, like I mentioned, a Chin Hong is what it's called, Chin Hong, a notice on the Waverly Street wall demanding an apology and financial reparations from the Quang Ducs. I mentioned earlier, the first Tong that Ming Long was a member of, dude. So he's freaking out there, dude, and they accept this challenge, bro, of open combat at midnight. So that's kind of, you know, it's pretty poetic. You got to imagine these guys are all pretty poetic. Like, I guess midnight is good because the moon will be high and you can kind of see, so it does make sense, but it is also just poetic, dude. The invitation is accepted, and the two rivaling Tongs go, all right, we're going to get after it. Let's go. And so this is the largest battle in the history of San Francisco, and it's over, you know, the Golden Peach. Really, it was over the dough, but honestly, it's over the Golden Peach, dude. If he wasn't so good, probably would have not been noticed. So just before midnight, 22 Sui Sing Tong members are on one side of the street, while 25 Quang Duc members gather on the other side. This is 50 guys just posting up with a ton of weapons, dude, right? There's Caucasian Tong fight fans, like I mentioned, toxic dudes. You got to imagine like if dudes were wearing popped collars back then, you got to imagine it was these guys watching. They probably all had popped collars and Lacoste shirts on, I would imagine, or Hollister Bay shirts, you know? I would imagine that's who's watching, dude. Then there's a signal, and the two Tongs rush at each other, and I'm imagining right now that opening sequence from Gangs of New York, you know, with Liam Neeson and Daniel Day-Lewis and stuff. And they basically fight each other with knives, hatchets, and guns. I feel like if you have a gun, that's a good call in this fight. I'm kind of a little bit bummed out that there is no rule against guns, but you know someone's going to cheat and bring a gun. They say this fight only goes for about 5 minutes. I mean, it sounds like that's all it would take if you're using clubs and guns, and the violence probably was quick and effective. A squad of police blowing whistles shows up, and they start firing into the air to end the mayhem. Both sides retreat, leaving casualties behind, dude. 3 Quang Duc members and 1 Sui Sing were dead, 12 seriously wounded, dude. The Sui Sings were declared the victors, so the ones that felt wronged and their dude that got jumped were the victors. Maybe they felt like they had more to fight for. And after the fight, they lost, and the Quang Ducs stepped up, and they wrote an apology and paid $10,000. And half of it went to the original victim. So you got to kind of like that, actually. So I mean, this is a good story to choose because it's nice that the victim gets a little bit of money paid out after getting jumped and probably seriously maimed. That the fact that someone did accept being the loss, they didn't want to take any more casualties. And then on top of that, Aaron, there's a banquet which both Tongs attend.
What?
After the fight. Yeah. Romantic coda, dude, to the battle, bro. It's pretty badass, dude. The dude Ming, the original guy, he leaves to China. And Lo Sing regained his health later, the guy that got the money, and he married the Golden Peach. So he took her out. I'm like, this is a movie, dude. Is this not a movie? If it isn't, it should be an episode of The Warriors. It probably is the pilot. Because this is like the most known. And look, it only went 5 minutes. They're like, this is the biggest, longest battle, dude. I was imagining, I'm like, how long did the other ones go? There must have been like other feuding skirmishes going on between these two Tongs over the years, and this was just like the biggest gathering of dudes, you know? So basically that was the big story that I wanted to share with you guys, and pretty gnarly. And I mean, it has everything, dude. It has love, horniness, betrayal, some dude getting jumped. It has loyalty. It has, you know, courage. It has, you know, it really has it all. Would you go into the streets and fight a battle for your bros? I mean, that's kind of what I love too, is that these guys have each other's backs. I kind of love that.
It just seems like a melee, and I just don't think you walk out of it even having all of your parts.
I got to agree. You take one shot to the head with a club, like your life could be done.
Yeah.
You could have, I mean, you might have to smell some cat shit just to get yourself right again. Even the toll. So the beginning.
I just keep thinking of Deadwood, by the way, while we're talking about this. Like,
dude, you know, I never watched it. I heard like the writer was like Shakespearean or something. It's like the swearing was good in that show.
Mm-hmm. That's great.
Was the movie any good?
It was a good wrap up to it. They got almost everybody back, which is crazy.
Is there any point in even watching that movie if you haven't seen the series?
No.
Like, do you think the Sopranos movie is going to be good?
I don't see how it could be.
Neither do I.
But watch Deadwood. It's only 36 episodes.
I'll watch it. I watched Rome on HBO. It's one of my favorite shows. Yeah. I love it. So the beginning of the end of the Tong era, like I mentioned earlier, was when Hatchet members start being involved with multiple Tongs. It kind of just like ruins allegiance and stuff. It lowers the overall effectiveness of, having your bros back, because it's like what's going on, and basically just becomes about money grabs for the individuals, right? Rather than the whole. The police force through Chinatown ends up getting boosted through 6 companies and stuff, and they also use not really quite legal means to take people out. They'll infiltrate Tongs, pose as members, also good for a series, and also use too much violence, and so just basically not good stuff.
Is there a narc in our Tong?
Yeah, that's total narcs in the Tong, dude. Their message worked, but the violent ones only work temporarily. They basically just lead to new wars against the police. But the overthrow of the Manchu dynasty in the First Republic of China gave people more rights over there a little bit, even though today we're hearing about imagine the rights that people don't have in China nowadays. And it was, you got to imagine back then only worse. So people actually would return to China that were living abroad and go back home. So population went down and less need for Tongs, or I guess less bodies to fulfill the halls that they were meeting in, right? And Chinatown was becoming a little more middle class, with it being cleaned up through the police's nefarious and violent tactics to clean things up. Community leaders realized they could make more money from legitimate commerce now than from vice, and became more supportive of the city's government. So things get cleaned up, but naturally, the biggest thing is in 1906, there's a huge earthquake in the San Francisco area, and it destroys a lot of the brothels and gambling houses, so work was sought elsewhere. And that was like sort of the real big shakeup, if you will, pun intended. So that's a brief history of Tong Wars in San Francisco, turn of the century. Pretty gnarly, dude. Some good stuff in there, and it makes me I do want to check out that series, Warrior. And thank you to our frickin' bro from Toronto, Nate, dude. And speaking of some dudes that write in, let's do a few cues and then bone out of here, dude. Let's see. What up, Strider? I too have a dank fiance. We got engaged in November 2019. We knew we wanted to buy a house, so thankfully we were focused on that and got a dank little crib we have been slowly furnishing with vintage and mid-century modern furniture that fires me up. Now that COVID rules are easing where I live, outside of Toronto, we are trying to plan a wedding, and we have realized that weddings are super expensive too. Can you think of any dank ways for us to save money and have a wedding that we can still invite 50 to 60 friends to? Am I going to have to axe my boys from the G list? Am I going to be a schmoll for not having an open bar? Thanks, Emmett. Dude, I hear you, man. Weddings are expensive. People know they can gouge you, dude. The market is not in your favor. It's a 2-for-1 year because of COVID, dude. People are looking to get married now. The wedding industry is looking to make some dough back after a year down. What my dank-ass fiance and I do, we're just getting married at the courthouse, smaller ceremony, and then going to have a little rager at like a brewery, which is sick. So I think you got to get creative, dude. Maybe break tradition a little bit. I don't think you're going to be a schmoll for not having an open bar. Of course, everyone appreciates that, but people understand it's tough. Money's tight, dude. So, and it's nice that you guys already got your house. I mean, my dank-ass fiance and I want to save up for our crib. But credenzas aren't cheap, dude. So you got to make sure you get those. So I think just be happy. Look at it. You don't want to have buyer's remorse. You want to celebrate your day properly, but also efficiently and optimally, dude. So I think there's a few different ways. And dude, find a dank, cute courthouse in Toronto. I think they've got dank architecture there, dude. cruise there, dude, and get your license. You have a fun little ceremony there. You know, you could do the elopement if you want, and then just have a party and say it's not a wedding, and then places will charge you less, you know, and just say it's an anniversary celebration. Boom, done, dude. So sick ass shit, dude. Aaron, what do you think?
I'm gonna come out and say it. If you can't have an open bar, don't even get married.
I think that's probably a good call. I think that is what it comes down to. Am I right? If you don't want to spend on the open bar, dude, yeah.
And I don't even drink, but come on.
Yeah, I think you're right.
You gotta, I mean.
I think you're right. People gotta rip shots.
You know? You can save money by supplying your own alcohol, though. So do that. We did that.
Maybe that's what we gotta do. Because we're at a brewery, Aaron, and they only do beer and wine.
Mm-hmm.
I wonder.
They gotta allow it, though. You gotta.
That's what I want. I don't even know if they'll allow us to serve that, are they?
Yeah.
It's attached to a place that does have booze, though. It's interesting. That's the thing I'm finding too, dude. It's like almost like looking for a house or an apartment. Like you have 5 things you want, but no place for the right price has all 5. Like one thing always gets dropped off. Unless you're really willing to spend outside your budget, then it's like, okay, then they have everything you want. It's crazy how shit works out like that. But Aaron's probably right, dude. You might need to have the open bar and then just do it like at a venue that's like, you know, you got a lot of cats. Let's see here, dude. What up, Stride? It's your boy, Kid Huddy, dude. I'm thrilled to be writing to the relationship guru again. You're an immensely impactful to the Stoke Nation, and I'm so happy for all the success behind the squad. Thank you, dude. Squad up, dude. Question. So you told me in an episode that you wanted me to be rocking a 3rd piece and clanking her from around the corner. My GF from Miami dumped me, and I'm so fucking hurt. We told each other we wanted to get married and shit. I'm crushed. Should I rock like leather shit, or should I just rock like the black jeans, white top, normal shit? I'm going to see her soon and need some solutions to my contemplating conscience. Dude, keep it 100. I love you, man. Keep doing it, the Dank history. You've taught me so much. Thank you, bro. Huddy, dude, you're the man, dude. Keep up, dude. Kid Huddy, keep doing what you do. I mean, dude, if you're calling yourself Kid Huddy, it's lending itself to an aesthetic for me that really I want to see leather, dude. And the fact that you're in Miami, you might see less leather because it's going to be humid down there, and someone who's willing to wear leather pants in that sort of humidity, you know, garnering up that ball sweat down there. Maybe you go leather vest on top to keep it cool. And yeah, I do want to hear some clanking. I want some noise. I want a chain wallet. I want, you know, maybe some studs that can clank. Maybe some, just wear spurs. Just wear them. And then, you know, slowly but surely lose that 3rd piece and then come back. I think it's more about coming out of that shell. You know what I mean? And don't worry about seeing your ex-GF. Again, I mean, I know you want to see her and be like, oh, I'm kicking butt, taking names. Check me out now without having to say anything, and I know what you mean. But I think you're just doing this for yourself, for moving on, being her next to you, and I love you rocking that 3rd piece, even if it's just a beanie, you know. So keep it up, my dog. Stay in there, dude. Stuff's only gonna get better, dude, and keep lifting. Aaron, what do you think, dude?
I got a little lost. So
he wrote in before, and he's basically asking exactly what type of outfit he should wear, because we told him that he should be rocking a 3rd piece, getting his confidence back after getting dumped by his GF, and they were telling each other they were going to get married, and then she dumped him.
Oh.
Yeah.
Well, first of all, fuck her.
Yeah, that's whack, dude. Playing games, dude.
Yeah.
Quit playing games with my heart.
But it also, it all works out in the end.
Yeah.
We're just talking fashion then. The 3rd piece.
Yeah.
I mean, brown leather vest, you know, especially if you got a good rig.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Show off the abs. I'm even saying this. You know what I'm thinking, dude, he should do? A live animal. This is Miami. I think you could get away with some sort of reptile.
That's true.
I think you could get away with a snake, a boa, like an albino boa around your neck. I think you can get away with something like that in most coffee shops. You can wear that in. You know, you don't need to have a mask down in Florida. And I think you can probably have a snake.
Crocodile on a leash.
I think a crocodile on a leash is a fantastic move. Maybe a caiman, a little bit smaller, a little more manageable. Cute.
Cute, yeah. Conversation starter.
Yeah, I think that's what the move is. And if your ex-GF saw you with the caiman, even though it's not about her and it's leashed, it lets her know that you've got shit under control. Yep. You've tamed a wild beast and you've tamed the bull within you. So, Yeah, that's what I want. That's what I want to hear, dude. That's what I want to see. I don't want to see you coming around that corner. I want to see your Cayman, then I want to see you going right after it on a leash. Leather-studded leash. Let's do one more, dude. Strider and Aaron, what up, dude? Dude, my dad threw out my favorite pair of board shorts. What do I do? I think he did it on purpose because he wants me to get a job rather than post up in my board shorts. I am looking for jobs, but what's wrong with cruising in board shorts to search? Most of it's online anyway. He put in there. Any advice, TJ? I mean, I've got my favorite pair of shorts. I wear my Volcom shorts a lot. I love them. If I'm just going around, like, ask for an application, I mean, your dad does have a point. Like, if you have a good look, but I don't know where you live. If you live somewhere where you're probably then the weather's nice, like in San Clemente, like if you cruise around in board shorts and ask for an application, like they might try to hire you on the spot. You know, like if you went into like the right acai bowl place or some shit, you know, or like a smoothie shop. But then again, your dad probably wants you to get a job at like, I don't know, a bank, dude, somewhere you got to wear a suit. So I think look the part, be the part. So I think like if you're trying to be a lifeguard, yeah, cruise up in board shorts or you know, work at a cabana, be a cabana boy like I was at a hotel, like, yeah, wear some board shorts. But if you want to, like, you know, I don't know, work at a CPA's office, then maybe board shorts aren't the best move. Sucks, but it's true.
I mean, I think if there's no possibility you're getting in the water, maybe go with some other pair of shorts.
Yeah, that's true.
There's also softer shorts out there than board shorts.
I agree.
If you're sitting on just on a computer applying for jobs.
I gotta tell you, the Velcro part on the board shorts sometimes rubs up against my dink the wrong way, and it hurts.
Yeah.
So, but here's the thing: he knows what he likes. He likes his boardies. Maybe it's a newer pair that don't have the Velcro anymore, and that could be sick. But I will tell you this: it is whack that your dad just straight up threw him out. But it makes me think that this wasn't like the first mode he took. But he shouldn't do that, dude. And you should tell him that's a waste of money, dude. Tell him that he's got to go work harder to buy you a new pair. See how that goes, dude. And I mean, hopefully you're bigger than your dad now where you can pin him, because you're going to be working. I imagine you're at least 16, 18, you know, probably your college age. Who knows? I mean, I could pin my dad at 16. It might have been a little bit of a rumble because he was somewhat young enough, but by 18, pinned. Done. Honestly, just probably a body weight pin. Like one of those pins where it's like, I put enough of my weight on him that he tires out. And I'm not that heavy a dude, but I was a little bit bigger back in the day, dude. Lift a little more weight, dude. What up, dude? Sniff like that with confidence. Legit, dude. Do you have a confident noise, Aaron, that you make when you're feeling confident? Like when you're about to pitch, do you like do something like a sniff or like a exhale or like a turn on the mechanism like what's his face does?
My new thing is after, you know, if I strike someone out, I just turn, walk away, and go, "Thank you."
Oh, let's go, dude. I bet you they hate that. That's hilarious, dude. I bet you they're like, "Oh, I just got thank you by Aaron. Oh, no, thank you. You aren't welcome." Dude, that's hilarious. Thank you, cha-ching. Hilarious, dude. All right, dude. Well, that's our freaking ep. I'm fired up, man. The Tong Wars, great suggestion. Nate from Toronto, dude. Keeping it about an international episode technically, although it's Canada. It's like, what up? So fired up on this ep, dude. Fired up. Hopefully you guys learned something. I did. I had no idea about any of this, and it was super cool to learn about some fun brief history of the Tong Wars. We of course don't want to glorify it, but you know it's something that's interesting and to mention. And if anything, dude, you know, Hatchet Boy could be your screen name or something like that, or your Snapchat name or something sick like that, because that's a tight name. So you guys have a freaking dank-ass week. Danktorians have a dank-ass week. Question, comment, suggestion, StriderWilsonTrez@gmail.com. Let me know, dude. Thank you, Aaron. You're a beast as always, dude. We'll see you guys next time. Later, dude.
Go for it.